Undercover owner orders steak. Waitress secretly slips him a note that stops him cold. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. He came in quietly, dressed like any other customer. No one knew he was the owner, not even the manager or the staff, just a plain man ordering a steak. But something felt off. The waitress seemed tense. Her eyes flicked toward the kitchen every few seconds. When she brought his plate, she didn't speak, just slipped him a folded napkin. Inside it, a message that froze him mid-bite. What he read turned a lunch break into an emergency. What do you do when the place you built is hiding something this ugly? Watch until the end. Thomas Jacobs was no ordinary CEO. After years of hard work, he owned a chain of mid-range steak houses across the Midwest. But rather than sit in an office, he preferred to visit locations undercover to see firsthand how his brand treated people. This time, he chose a restaurant in a small southern town, a place he hadn't visited in over a year. Dressed in jeans and a flannel shirt, Thomas walked in alone, took a table in the back, and quietly observed. His waitress, a young black woman named Kiara, greeted him politely, but with a cautious edge. She flinched when the manager barked orders, eyes lowered whenever the chef walked by. Something in the air felt heavy. Thomas ordered a steak, medium rare. Nothing fancy, just enough time to watch how people moved when they didn't know who was watching. But what he was about to discover couldn't be unseen. As Thomas sat waiting, he noticed a pattern. Kiara was the only black staff member and the only one being snapped at, micromanaged, and given all the grunt work. When the manager spoke to her, it was through gritted teeth. He watched as the hostess laughed with the others, but gave Kiara cold stares. The kitchen staff rolled their eyes when she walked in, and more than once, Thomas heard muffled slurs coming from the prep area. Still, Kiara kept her composure. No visible anger, just a quiet sadness in the way she wiped the counter or forced a smile. Then, the steak arrived. Kiara gently placed the plate in front of him, along with a folded napkin. She didn't make eye contact, just turned and walked away, confused. Thomas opened the napkin. Inside, scribbled in shaky handwriting, "Please, help me. They don't know who you are. I'm being harassed. I need this job." Thomas's heart sank. This wasn't just workplace rudeness, it was abuse. And they had no idea the man reading that note was their employer. He looked up. The manager barked at Kiara again, this time, calling her slow in front of guests. Thomas stood up, napkin in hand. His instincts as a leader and a human being kicked in. It was time to act not as a customer, but as the man who signed their checks. Thomas called for the manager, who approached with fake charm. "I have a complaint," Thomas said calmly. "Of course, sir. About your food." "No," he replied, pulling out his ID. "About your treatment of my employee." The manager's face drained of color. Guests turned. Staff froze. "I own this restaurant, and I just watched you mistreat a woman who works harder than any of you." Kiara, overhearing, froze mid-step. Thomas continued, voice steady but cutting. "This isn't about steak. It's about dignity. And your job. It's done." He turned to Kiara. "Let's talk in my car. You're not alone anymore." The silence that followed was the sound of power shifting, of someone finally being seen. Thomas didn't just fire the manager, he launched a full investigation. Kiara, who had spent months suffering in silence, was promoted to assistant manager and given full support to lead diversity training across the region. Her story went viral after Thomas shared it, reminding people that racism doesn't always come with headlines. Sometimes it hides in laughter, policy, or silence, but most of all, it reminded everyone that the right person noticing at the right time can change a life. One note, one folded napkin. "Speak up," Thomas wrote in his post, "and if no one listens, watch who's watching." Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments. and share this if you believe silence can be just as dangerous as hate. Take care.